Hi there, Kitschy Cats and Kittens. Thank you for joining me today. We are making some very cute fall themed pendants. And I'm starting off with this really pretty glitter, which appeared in my last two Froggy Friday videos. So go watch those if you haven't seen them already. But I love this glitter. It is so gorgeous. Now, this particular glitter is no longer available from PDB Creative Studio, so I have found a comparable item for you in the description. This is just the crystal clear epoxy resin from Luxe Resin. This mold that I'm using is technically moon phases, but I find that it works really well for pendants as well. So I'll be using the full moon and the half moon for these. Since this is leftover resin, I don't technically have enough to fill this half moon. I'm not worried about it because I can make up the difference with UV resin later. I really just want a good solid layer of this. And I spray it with some alcohol and off to the curing machine it goes. Once it's out, I need to make up for the fact that it wasn't quite full, and to do this I'm adding some UV resin, to which I have also added gold interference powder from Luxe Resin. I used this gold interference powder on basically everything for like a week. I was so obsessed with it, but it's really pretty. I didn't have enough to really fill in this cavity, so I poured some regular UV resin over it, and I go ahead and just sort of mix it all together. This shape is really difficult to hold still while doing something like this. I definitely should have left it in the mold. That's going to go underneath my UV lamp for about 5 minutes, and then it will be ready to move on to the next step. Okay, so the round one didn't need any extra, and now it's time to put a leaf on it. I'm using a leaf that had been poured from that exact same resin set. Since it will be monochrome, I want to do something sort of subtle to make the leaf stand out. So I decided to put black alcohol ink around the bottom, and that did kind of work, but not nearly as much as I was looking for. So I move on to a gold pen to sort of outline it. While the gold pen worked in this situation, I use it for outlining other parts that don't work so well. I do eventually find a fix for that, which you'll see later. In order to add a little more interest to the round pendant part, I go around the top edge with the gold, and then I eventually do fill in the entire edge of it. I have that UV resin in that little tray, and it's just the lid to something I don't use anymore. So I have like dried paint on it, and I'm using the UV resin, which does eventually cure on it. So I try to reuse these things whenever I can, but with something like that that's pretty flimsy, I'm not going to work really hard at trying to wipe it out and do all that good stuff. I need to drill a hole in this in order to put in a threaded eye hook, and I use this little mini drill to do it. I think it's actually meant for jewelry pieces and small pieces like that, so it's perfect. This gold metallic pen from Create and Bloom is amazing. It's oil-based, and it's got a very beautiful gold color to it, but also a slight shimmer. It covers way better than the DecoArt pen. I wanted to add more UV resin to the top of this to both protect that gold outer layer and also shine it up a bit. So I just went ahead and poured some on, and I'm pulling it out to the edges with my little silicone tool. Once that is done curing for 3 minutes, we're on to the next step, which is going to be creating the necklace part. So I'm taking this faux suede cord I have, and these little crimping end parts came with this set from, I think it was Beebeecraft. And the little crimping parts also have a loop attached to it. I'm sure there's a name for these things. I have no idea what they're called, so if you know, let me know in the comments. But anyhow, you go ahead and you place this around the end of the suede cord, and you just squeeze it, you crimp it onto there, and it's great. You can put a jump ring on it, you can put a lobster claw on it, and you are good to go with your necklace. Whenever I make something with a larger pendant, I tend to make a longer necklace to go with it. I feel like I just want it to sit a little lower on the chest than most necklaces with smaller pendants would. I feel like it highlights it a little bit more. Now I'm attaching a jump ring to one end of it, and I'll attach a lobster claw to that end. To the other end, I'll do another jump ring and then one larger jump ring at the end of that to attach to the lobster claw. I do go around the outside of this. You can see I've done the gold pen, and I do go around, I think, a couple more times before I finally give in and use Luxe Create and Bloom pen, which I should have used from the beginning because it covered so much better than this pen did in 3 separate layers. Now it's time for the half moon. I've already drilled 2 holes in it, and it's going to be sitting on the necklace just as it's shown. So those will go on the flat part. And then I will be threading another suede cord through it, but this time I'm doing a cord that matches the color of the leaf on it. I was trying to decide whether I wanted to go around the outside edge with gold or not. And naturally, I should have done this before I put those eye hooks in. But me being me, I hadn't thought about it and then changed my mind later and decided I wanted to. So I have a heck of a time getting around those, but I manage. I just added a nice thin coat of UV resin in order to place the leaf into, and I give that a 3-minute cure. You can see my suede cord here. It's more of a sort of, I don't know, I think I'd call it like a lighter chestnut brown color, but it sort of matches the copper tone of the leaf, and I think it all goes really, really well with the color of that glitter. I am going to go ahead and set up an eBay shop for myself here pretty soon. I'm being overrun with projects, and I don't know if anybody wants them, but if anybody is interested in any of them, those will be up soon. I'm hoping to have that up and running at least by the first of the year, if not sooner. Once I have that all done, these are ready for their glamour shots. And I think they turned out really pretty, and I think they just embody the beauty of fall. I love the colors, I love the leaves, I think they are fantastic, and I can't wait to make more pendants like this. What do you think I should make? Do you have any ideas? Let me know. I feel like these pendants have erred on the side of more elegant. I typically go for things that are cute, These I feel are a little bit more on the elevated side, if that makes sense, and I kind of would like to start making more things like this. I love the cutesy, don't get me wrong, but I love this too. I hope you liked the pendants, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, my kitschy cats and kittens, and I'll see you soon.